Hello everyone, welcome to another UFC review. Before I start this, I will put a disclaimer. If you can hear like these little weird noises, it's my cat. He's been making these odd noises for the past, not exactly an hour. Okay, maybe about that, maybe longer. And I'm kind of worried about him. He's over on my bed right now, but yeah, if you hear any noises, it's him. There's a good chance he might come over and, and call him up and stuff. So if you hear noises, that's him. Anyway, let's get on to the actual thing. So we are in Nashville, Tennessee at the Bridgestone Arena for a UFC fight night. The main event being Cub Swanson against Artem Lobov. And as always, we start with the prelim fight, so let's do that now. Oh, very quick, I did forget to mention on my Ultimate Fighter review. Uh, Also, I'll mention something about this year's review. The Ultimate Fighter review, they didn't have fights to get into the house because these were already fighters who had been there before. I think I might have said it, but in case I didn't, I'm reminding you all now. So, and also this one I was going to do it yesterday, but yeah, when the UFC is recorded, I can watch it pretty much whenever I want, and I have to watch it on the day. And also, my dad got to have a good day with this thing because it's recorded on the tally box downstairs now, and I watch it downstairs. So yeah. Anyway, let's get on to the review itself. Start with the prelims, and now. So we have our first fight between Jessica Penne and Danielle Taylor. I said Daniel by accident. Danielle won by unanimous decision. It was a pretty close fight. It was a really good fight to open things up with. Danielle, as I've mentioned before, because I know I've talked about it before, very short, but you know what? She's got really, really good movement. And just because Jessica Penne spent the majority of the fight advancing, that doesn't mean jack in the eyes of the judges, which is good. Because if you just move forward all the time and keep getting punched and do nothing and you still win, that would be bullshit. But she moved forward and she did a lot of stuff. She was really good in the clinch. Penne was with some knees, but Taylor was just a bit quicker. Managed to counter, landed some really good overhand lefts and rights. Pardon me. And yeah, she managed to get a win pretty easily. I think it was pretty much entirely a stand-up fight. It was a really good showcase for Danielle Taylor. Um, I think the last time she fought a pretty tall fighter, I don't really remember, and I can't really click on her name because she's not really known on Wikipedia, so I really can't look that up. But well, I can look up. I'm just not going to be asked with other sites to do it because I'm lazy. So yeah, she put on a good performance, managed to open up with a really good fight between her and Penne, and she did a good job. So we're going to move on. Next up, we have Scott Hot Sauce Holtzman against Michael McBride. Holtzman won by unanimous decision. He did a really good job. He landed a lot of really good punches, had some really good stand-up. I think his best moment was in round two because I think he knocked McBride down with a punch or a kick. I don't remember which one it was, but he managed to knock McBride down. And pretty much all the time, like McBride managed to land a couple of takedowns on Holtzman because that's where he works best, but Holtzman managed to get out of him pretty easily. He was maybe caught in a few submission attempts, but nothing that was really worrying him too much. He managed to get out of them pretty easily, and it was pretty much a clear coasted win for Ultimate from start to finish. There were some moments when McBride did strike back, and as I mentioned, he did get a good couple of takedowns, but didn't really matter anything really all that well. And Holtzman just, he got a few knockdowns, he got some really big shots in, really, really good hands, really good boxing. So yeah, he did a really good job, and he definitely deserves this win. So yeah, well done, Mr. Hot Sauce. I like that nickname. I don't know why. Next up, we have Dustin Ortiz against Brendan Moreno, and this was a really good fight. Ortiz pretty much controlled the entire first round. He took Brendan down early, managed to keep him there, managed to land some really good ground and pound, managed to smother him, did a really, really good job on top. Round two, sort of similar stuff, but Moreno was definitely countering a bit more and landing some really good shots. Then he landed a hell of a head kick, which knocked down Ortiz, caused him to fall flat on his face forwards. But Ortiz managed to recover and roll away, and Moreno chased after him and took his back. And after a fair few tries, he managed to get a rear naked choke in and won by technical submission. He choked Ortiz out, which I thought it was a really good way to end that, and it was a really, really good fight. And Moreno got the win, got performance of the night bonus for it, so can't really fault that. He did a damn good job, and I like Moreno. He's definitely one of my favorite prospects in the UFC right now. His weight class is right. Sorry, my brother and his friend are talking, so. yeah, it was a really good fight from Moreno. He did a really good job. He managed to get a good win, got a good, extra bit of money in his pocket now with the bonus. So, yeah. And Dustin Ortiz, he's not really wanting for a win. Like, he's a really good fighter. He's got a really good streak going regardless. Then again, this was the first time he's been finished, and Brandon Moreno managed to change that. So that was pretty cool. So yeah, we're going to move on to the last prelim fight now. Next up, we have the last fight of the prelim card. Smiling Sam Alvey against Talis Leites. Ah, God. What happened to Sam? Throughout the entire first round, okay, the first strike landed in the first round was from Leites. It was a leg kick, and it really hurt Alvey's ankle, apparently. I think that's why he was slow. But he didn't really do much. He relied too much on that counter left heavy hand, which is a good go-to for him, don't get me wrong. It works. It just didn't work here. He didn't really do a whole lot, and when he did do a lot, he looked really good, but for the most part, he didn't look good, he looked bad. He was going to clinch too much, Talis Leites managed to outstrike him, landed a lot of leg kicks. It was not a good fight for Alfie. I think he landed a total of 10 strikes by the time the fight was over. That's bad. That's really not good, so... Yeah, Talis Leites clearly won that one. Sam Alvey needs to pick it up again. He's good in some fights, but bad in others when he relies too much on that one thing. Although, one thing I did like, though, there were a couple of foul moments. One where Sam accidentally got kicked in the groin. The other way he was going poked in the face. And during the poked in the face thing, the referee, who was John McCarthy in this case, came over to talk to him, had a nice conversation. And as John was about to leave, Sam said, "You're a handsome son of a bitch, by the way." And McCarthy said, "Thank you, you're a fine looking bastard yourself. Alright, take care, you too, sir." It was a nice little exchange that I really enjoyed, and it made me laugh, I liked seeing that. So, yeah, that was the last prelim fight of the prelim card. How do words good? Yeah, it was an okay fight, not really the best way to close things out, and not really a good showing for Sam Alvey, which is unfortunate because I really like him. So, yeah, we're going to move on to the main card now. And so we're on to the main card now, with the first fight being Jake Ellenberger, who I really like because his name is Jake, and he's the only good Jake to have ever fought in the UFC, against Mike Perry, who I've seen fight a couple of times, who's won all of his fights by knockout, including this one. Okay, the first round was pretty much all Jake Ellenberger. He managed to land, I think he got a takedown at some point, but his striking was really, really good. He managed to get some good counters on Mike Perry. I definitely give the first round to Ellenberger. Then by round two, Perry rocked Ellenberger with the right hand, and Ellenberger did fall down. He managed to get back up, and then they got into the close range fighting, and Perry landed a beautiful right elbow and knocked Ellenberger out clean. It was a hell of a finish. He got himself performance of the night for it as well. Really good performance. But Jake Ellenberger, he needs a win. I really like him. I really like Mike Perry. He's a promising fighter. He shows a lot of good stuff. But Jake Ellenberger, come on, do the Jakes proud. Win your next fight, please, please. That's all I ask. Moving on. Next up was Joe Lauzon against Stevie Ray from Scotland. Yeah, and Stevie Ray won by majority decision. It was a pretty interesting fight. Lauzon managed to get a couple of takedowns throughout the fight, but Stevie Ray just... Okay, the first round was definitely Lauzon's aim. He held Stevie Ray down a lot, but Ray managed to come back with some really good striking in round one. A hell of a lot of really good combos in round two, and round three was pretty much his as well. He managed to show a lot of promise, and not only that, but he beat a top guy in Joe Lauzon. Joe Lauzon is a guy who always arrives. He's always really, really good. And Stevie Ray, who a lot of people should be watching out for, because I've been watching him. Well, I've had my eye on him for a couple of years now. He's definitely someone who doesn't get enough credit, and he almost did get a finish, which is good. He rocked Lauzon many, many times. But it was definitely a really, really good fight for him. And he definitely deserves the win. He did a good job. Joe Lauzon also did a good job. Didn't win, but it's Joe Lauzon. He could lose like 5 fights in a row and still be awesome in everything. So, yeah, I'm gonna go to the next fight. Next, we have the most boring fight on the card, which is surprising considering the fighters involved. John Dodson against Eddie Wineland. A whole lot of nothing happened. It was entirely a stand-up fight. I think Dodson maybe landed like 10 punches a round. Wineland did let some good stuff in round 2, though, to be honest. But not really enough to hurt Dodson. Dodson kept moving a lot quicker. Landed more combos, did that throughout the entire fight. Wasn't interesting, wasn't exciting, especially considering how good John Dodson is and how underrated Eddie Wineland is. Eddie Wineland, I meant to say. So, we're just going to move on before I think about this one too much. It wasn't a good fight, really wasn't. But really good win for Dodson. Eddie Wineland, he's got 2 wins in a row. He was hoping to extend 3, just didn't. He's still going to be in the UFC, I reckon. So, and that's always a good thing. Next up was kind of a catch-rate fight between Ogun St. Preux, a Tennessee native, and they fucking love him because we're in Tennessee, against Marcos Rogerio de Lima, who has a really good record. And for round 1, it was kind of de Lima's fight, to be honest. He was landing a lot more. OSP did get some offense off. I think there was a takedown in round 1, but I don't remember. But it was mostly de Lima. He managed to get the majority of his offense off. Then round 2 happened. I don't know what I did it like that. Round 2 happened, and yeah. Basically, I don't remember how it happened. No, okay, I do. De Lima went for a kick. OSP caught it and landed a takedown. And against the cage, managed to get a Von Flue choke, making him the only fighter in UFC history to have 2 Von Flue choke finishes. 2. Or as they said in the post-fight interview, the Von St. Preux, which I thought was a really good. It's a really good pun, it was a really good spin on it. So I would definitely call it that. A Von Flue choke, you don't really see too often, especially considering I think the only fighter actually using it now is Ogun St. Preux. And it was nice to see him get a win because he is really good, but he does get into situations where it's not really good for him. But he managed to get a good finish. Both fighters in this case were really good finishes. De Lima is not really wanting for a win. He's done good enough, and he did put in a good performance despite the loss. So there you go. That's all you need. Hang on, was this a? It wasn't. Oh, I was thinking this was a technical submission, which would have choked De Lima, but he tapped. I honestly couldn't tell at first. I thought OSP was just hugging De Lima. Then I saw De Lima tap. Then I was like, that was a choke. Then I found out, oh, it's a Von Flue. You don't really see it that often. I didn't see OSP's first fight where he did it with a Von Flue. So this is literally the first time I've seen a Von Flue choke. I'm fine with it. It looks really cool, So I'm gonna move on to the co-main event now, and it's a good one. Next up was Raging Al Iaquinta against Diego Sanchez, and holy fuck does Iaquinta not get enough credit. Oh god. Won by really good knockout. In round 1, didn't take him long, like a minute 40, just under, He pretty good striking exchanges, mostly Iaquinta came out with them. Then he landed a big right and knocked down Sanchez, didn't follow it up because he knew how good Sanchez is on the ground, and he is good on the ground. You don't really see it that often though, because Sanchez is known for being crazy and standing up. That's how we do. Then, it went back and forth again, and then Iaquinta landed another big right hand and knocked Sanchez the fuck out. Really good win. I'm kind of miffed that Al didn't get a performance of the night bonus because I feel like he deserves one. It's not like they've given out. It's not like they haven't given out more than 2 before. So I don't know. But yeah, he did a really good job. And apparently, it's been 2 years since he last fought. You wouldn't really think that, to be honest. But he continues to extend. His win streak is at 5 now. He's really good. I love Al Iaquinta. He doesn't get enough credit. So, yeah, and he got a win over a legend. After a 2-year layoff. That is a huge feather in the cap. Oh, something I almost completely forgot to mention. With the UFC Hall of Fame going up in the summer, you all know that Uriah is going to be in it. I think Dan Henderson's going to be in it as well, or unless he already is. But they're going to induct Murray Smith, the guy who pretty much brought kickboxing and a whole new level of striking to the UFC. So, yeah, that's a good thing. I never seen Ray Smith fight. It was before my time, but I know who he is. I know what he's done. I know how good he was and how much he changed the sport. So can't really fault that. He's kind of like the Hoist Gracie of striking in a way. You know, the Hoist Gracie of striking strategy. So we're going to move on to the main event. Now. I would speak, but my brother and his friend are having a weird argument. Anyway, yeah, the main event. Holy crap! This might be in my top 10 fights of 2017. This was really, really good. Cub Swanson against Artem Lobov. Swanson won by unanimous decision, but it was not an easy earned one. There was a lot of really good striking exchanges, a lot of really good respect between the two as well, which I liked. Round one was definitely Lobov's round, but the entire fight was just great. You know, really, really good moves. Definitely, there was more cases of Cub Swanson rocking got Lobov than it was vice versa, but Lobov is someone you don't mess around with, you know? He's a walking tank. Despite his record now being 14 wins and 13 losses and 1 draw, it's not the best record, but damn, the dude can fight. Okay, he punches hard, he moves forward, he's kind of like a small version of Chris Lieben in a way. I just love seeing Loa fight, and I love seeing Swanson fight, and he got a really, really good win in a really, really good fight. Definitely could be in my top 10 of the year. It was really, really good. It was a great main event. It got fight of the night, you know, and deservedly so. It was a really, really fucking awesome fight. Really good win for Swanson. Landed some really, really good punches. There was one moment where I think he knocked. No, he didn't knock Lobov down. Lobov slipped. That was as close as it came, you know? There were many moments where Swanson landed like head kicks and punches and a spinning back elbow at one point. And Lobov looked rock for like a split second and then was like, oh, yeah, I'm fine now. He's a tank. Artem Lobov is a fucking Russian Irish awesome tank. And Cub Swanson also really, 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 really good. Got a really good win to cap off a really, really good card. I like this one. It was one of my favorites in a while. I had fun watching it, and yeah, there's really not much else to say. You know, I had fun. It was a really, really good card. Great fights. The main event was fucking amazing. Awesome. You know, really, really good finishes as well. Even a fun flu choke. My first fun flu choke. Pardon me. So yeah, that will pretty much about do it for this UFC review. Join me on, let's see, I think Thursday. That might be when I start doing the Demon Hunter backtracking. Yeah, Thursday will be part 1, Friday should be part 2, and Saturday should be the next Ultimate Fire episode. Because I always wait for the subtitle of the episode to come before I actually review them as a fair thing. So yeah, I'll see you all then. 3 videos in a row for 3 days, it seems. Take care, peace out, and stay fighting. You're awesome.